You already know that feeling. That slow, creeping realization that the people you care about most somehow feel further away than ever, even when they're sitting right next to you. You're not imagining it. Something shifted, and you can feel it in your chest every single time you're in the same room, and the silence feels heavier than the conversation. Here's what nobody tells you. Relationships don't fall apart in dramatic explosions. They dissolve quietly, one missed moment at a time. And that's exactly what we're going to fix today. But before we go any further, if you've been feeling like you're putting in effort and still getting nothing back, if you feel invisible in your own relationships, if you're exhausted from trying to connect and keep hitting a wall, we have programs linked down below in the video description that go much deeper than what we can cover here. People who thought it was too late for them have transformed their relationships in ways they never expected. If you know you need more than just a video, check the description now, because these resources aren't always available. Now let's talk about what's really happening. Think about the last time someone made you feel truly seen. Not just heard. Seen. Like they looked at you and understood something you hadn't even put into words yet. How long ago was that? If you're struggling to remember, you're not alone, and that emptiness you feel isn't weakness. It's evidence that you're human, and that you need what every single person on this planet needs: genuine connection. Here's the painful truth that most people never face. Disconnection doesn't happen because people stop caring. It happens because people stop noticing. You get busy. They get busy. Days turn into weeks. Weeks turn into months. And one day you look across the table at someone you love and realize you have no idea what's going on inside their world anymore. That realization hits like cold water. Studies on relationship satisfaction show that couples and close friends who feel deeply connected aren't spending more hours together. They're doing something fundamentally different with the moments they already have. The difference between a relationship that thrives and one that slowly starves to death isn't grand gestures. It's not vacations or expensive gifts or big dramatic conversations. It's something so simple that most people completely overlook it, and that simplicity is exactly why it's so powerful. It's the small stuff, done consistently, done intentionally, done with presence. Let's get specific, because vague advice won't change anything in your life. The first thing that transforms relationships almost instantly is undivided attention. And I mean actually undivided. Not the kind where you're sort of listening while scrolling. Real attention. The kind where you put your phone face down, you stop what you're doing, and you just look at the person in front of you. Research shows that when someone feels genuinely listened to, their stress levels drop measurably. Their oxytocin levels rise. They feel safer. And when people feel safe around you, they lean in closer, not further away. Now here's where most people get this wrong. They think attention has to be given in long stretches of time. It doesn't. 2 minutes of full presence is worth more than 2 hours of half attention. Think about that. 2 minutes. That's less time than it takes to scroll through social media. But most people can't even give that consistently because they've been conditioned to split their focus constantly. Pattern interrupt. Stop for a second. When was the last time someone gave you their full attention without any distraction? How did that feel? That feeling is what you can give to someone else, starting today. The second small action that builds enormous relational equity over time is what researchers call micro-affirmations. These are tiny, genuine acknowledgments of the other person's reality. Things like noticing when someone looks tired and saying it out loud with care. Remembering something small they mentioned last week and following up on it. Saying out loud what you appreciate about them in a specific, real way. Not generic flattery. Real, specific recognition. When you tell someone exactly what you value about them, something in their brain shifts. They feel seen in a way that's almost impossible to describe with words. And the beautiful, somewhat counterintuitive thing is that it also changes how you feel about them. The act of looking for what you appreciate creates a filter in your brain that starts noticing more of it. You start seeing them more fully. Both of you win. People who practice this consistently report that their relationships feel warmer within weeks, not months, weeks. Now let's talk about something that cuts even deeper. Touch matters more than most people in modern society are comfortable admitting, not in a complicated way, in a simple, primal human way. A hand on a shoulder during a hard conversation, a hug that lasts 3 full seconds instead of the quick tap people have gotten used to. These aren't sentimental extras, they're neurological necessities. Physical contact releases oxytocin, reduces cortisol, and sends a signal to the nervous system that says you are safe, you are not alone. The people who feel most chronically disconnected in their lives are often the people who are also the most touch-deprived, and they often don't even realize it. Pattern interrupt again. Consider the last week of your life. How much genuine, warm human contact did you have? How much did you give? Here is where we address the people who are watching this and already feeling defensive, and that's okay. Maybe you're thinking this doesn't apply to you because your situation is more complicated than this. Maybe you're thinking the other person is the problem. Maybe you've tried and you feel like you've gotten nothing back. Those feelings are real. And this isn't about dismissing them. But here is what's also true. You cannot control what another person does. You can only control what you bring. And when one person consistently brings presence, acknowledgement, genuine curiosity, and warmth, the dynamic of a relationship almost always begins to shift. Not overnight, but it shifts. The people who say these things don't work usually try them once or twice and then stopped when they didn't see immediate results. They were treating connection like a transaction. But relationships are not transactions. They are ecosystems. You cultivate them over time, and then one day you look around and realize everything is alive and green and growing, and you can't point to one single moment that caused it. That is the ROI of consistent small actions. You invest a few intentional minutes every day, and over 90 days, over 6 months, over a year, you end up with a relationship that sustains you instead of draining you. You end up feeling less alone. You end up with someone who chooses you back, daily, because you've been choosing them daily. The cost of not doing this is the one most people don't want to calculate. Years of surface-level connection. Years of being physically present but emotionally absent. A relationship that technically exists but doesn't feel like anything. That is a cost measured not in money but in life, in actual lived experience. In years of feeling like something important is missing but not knowing what or why. You already know what that costs you. You felt it before you even clicked on this video. Pattern interrupt. We're almost there. Stay with me because this last piece is the one that makes everything else stick. The final small action that changes everything is intentional curiosity. Instead of asking how someone's day was and accepting fine as an answer, ask something real. Ask what the best and worst moments of their day were. Ask what they've been thinking about lately that they haven't talked about yet. Ask questions that require actual answers, and then listen without planning your response. Curiosity tells someone that you're interested in their interior world, not just their surface. And when someone feels like you're genuinely interested in who they are, not just what they do or what they provide, that is when real intimacy builds. That is when someone goes from a person in your life to a person who is your life. Every single person watching this right now is capable of doing these things. You don't need a perfect relationship to start. You don't need to wait for the other person to go first. You start. You start today with one moment of real presence, one genuine acknowledgement, one curious question. And if you know that you need a structured path to go deeper, that you need guidance, strategy, and real tools to transform your relationships from the inside out, the programs we have linked below in the video description are exactly what you need to look at right now. Most people watch videos like this, feel moved, and then do nothing. They go back to the same patterns and wonder why nothing changes. Don't be that person. The link is right there. The question is whether you're actually ready to stop settling for connection that barely scratches the surface.